Welcome, family, once again to the podcast, Let's Speak It Out Loud, where we talk about everything that we don't want to talk about with anyone else, but what we talk about in the copper-colored people community. So I want to say hello, once again. I am your host, Goddess Candace, the Alicorn, and I am here to uplift you, to give you some hope, to give you some promise, to let you know we are all in this together. And if you're not feeling good today, I hope I say something that lifts your spirits and make you feel a whole lot better. All right. I want to first start off here by thanking every single person who has been donating to the podcast. I really appreciate you donating to the podcast. Once again, you know that's how this podcast keeps going. That's how we continue to deliver content. And guys, leave me some notes in the comments about some things that we want to talk about in our community that we don't talk about with anybody else in other communities, okay? Excuse me. So once again, if you'd like to donate, you can go to paypal.me/speakit LMCM17 or paypal.me/speakit LMCM17, or if you just like Cash App, go to $ Candace Y Miller. All the information is in the bottom of the website, and you can find out how to contact me from there, so no worries. One thing I do want to say is, guys, I have been watching how you guys have been listening, and I appreciate you all. The very first thing I want to do, I want to give a shout out to my people in India. Y'all are listening to me and make me feel so good. I've never been to India, but I definitely want to go. And down under in Australia, you know, where the Aboriginals are. Australians, thank you so much for listening. And the Canadians, you guys have been listening as well. Now, I've been to Canada plenty of times because I'm from Michigan, and you could just walk across the border. Well, before September 11th, we could just walk across the border, across the bridge. We could drive across the bridge or go in the tunnel underwater, which I always loved to do when I was a kid. So I just want to thank all you guys who have been listening from the other side of the world. It is greatly appreciated. And let all your friends know, if you like this podcast, go to speakit17.podbean.com. That's speakit17.podbean.com. All right, y'all. Let's get into this. Well, like I say, I hope everybody's feeling pretty good today. I'm feeling pretty good. I love coming to you guys and talking to you and talking about some things that we usually don't normally talk about. So I was thinking, once again, what did I want to talk about today? But I got something I really want to talk about, y'all, is our health. You know, as the copper-colored people here in America, our health, we have to take it and build it. We can't take our health for granted because you only have one life. You know, and I know it's difficult because here in the States, they treat copper-colored people so bad at the hospitals and our treatment. Our treatment is less than stellar. Now, we talk about this, and I know some of the other family members of different nationalities and races might say, oh, no, everyone gets equal treatment in America. Bullshit. Bullshit. Let me say it again. Bullshit. It doesn't matter, even if you have the best insurance here in America, if you're copper-colored, they still treat you like shit here. You know, and we have so many copper-colored people in the medical industry and nurses, doctors, practitioners, and we got some great ones now. No, don't get it wrong. We got some people with some great bedside manner. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm not talking to all you people who are there. Great bedside manner. Right there, trying to understand what the person is going through and the pain that they're going through and giving them compassion. Because that's what's lacking in the medical industry today is compassion. Everything is about money. So today, guys, as you can see, the title of this podcast is called Hidradenitis Suppurativa. Now, I know I didn't pronounce it right, and most of y'all won't pronounce it right either. But Hidradenitis Suppurativa. So what is it? Well, short, HS. That's the best way you can label it. They call it HS because the name is so wrong, and I've heard a million doctors say it a different way. So Let me explain to you what hidradenitis is. Let me pull it up online and tell you what the doctors or quote unquote the medical term is for it. Hidradenitis suppurativa is a chronic, systematic, throughout the body, inflammatory condition where an overactive immune system contributes to inflammation below the surface of the skin. Okay? With HS, that means inflammation starts on the inside before showing up in layers of the skin as bumps, nodules, abscesses, and tunnels. While the exact cause of HS is unknown, there's a lot more to HS than what you can see on the skin. HS can get worse over time. It can progress to form tracts or tunnels between abscesses deep within the skin, as well as scarring on the surface and more. Since the 1830s, medical researchers have worked to better understand this condition of hidradenitis suppurativa. But I'm going to tell you something. They have not. And the reason I'm coming to you today, guys, with this is because my wife has been suffering with HS for 29 years. And it's very, very sad because I read to you what it says HS is, but I'm going to tell you as someone being a loved one of someone who goes through it. HS is a bitch. You know, it has no prerequisite to who it wants to affect. Fat, skinny, black, white, blue, green, smokers, non-smokers. There is no common denominator on what HS is, and it is sad that there is no type of treatment for it. So, HS, guys, it usually develops in the area where hair grows or where skin rubs against skin. So think about that. And this conversation, guys, I'm about to get real graphic with you. So if you got young children in the room and you don't want them to know about HS, take them out and talk to them about it later. But, guys, people are suffering all over the world with HS. So imagine where your skin touches skin, all right? So under your breast, men, where your teabaggers touch your leg and in that groin area, your butt cheeks, your armpits. You know, a lot of times it usually starts in the armpits, and a lot of times doctors would misdiagnose you and tell you, oh, you got a little cyst, we're just draining. Well, it's not a cyst because they form tracts up under the skin, and it's a very, very debilitating disease, and you are in constant pain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, although you look normal. You look very normal. You don't look like you have a disability that most days you can't get up out the bed or something is exploding on your body and draining. And when you go to the doctor, when you can't take the pain anymore, this is the procedure. They're going to take a huge needle, stick it in there, squeeze some numbing stuff in there, but they never wait for it to numb. And then they're going to take a scalpel and cut it wide open and squeeze the stuff out. Does that sound fun? Now, if they don't take the sac out, it's going to reoccur and come back. Also, after they squeeze all the stuff out, they leave it open. And then you have to pack it 3 times a day. And a lot of times, you know, the recovery time for that is never. Because it'll close, come back, close, and come back. You know, so usually it starts under the arms. Or people get it under their arms or their inner thighs. Under the breast, the buttocks, the groin area, the back of the neck, the ears. Some people even get it on their face. Now, if you go to the doctor, a lot of times they'll say things to you like, oh, yeah, what is it? Honey, my wife and I have been together 18 years, and she's had 20 surgeries in the 18 years. Most recently in July 2021, they removed her whole left armpit. That's right. I said her whole left armpit. Did you hear me? And when they removed that whole left armpit, this is an outpatient surgery. They pack it and they send you home. They have to put you under because they're so deep. When they're that deep, when it's time for surgery, they're the size of Oh my God, I can't say golf balls. Let's say usually they're the size from anywhere of an orange to a grapefruit and sometimes even larger. So imagine having an orange in your butt cheek, an orange under your armpit. You can't stand, you can't lay on your stomach, you can't lay on your butt because you got a flare there. You can't walk half the time because your skin's rubbing together between your thighs or your butt cheeks or your teabag sacks, brother. I understand. You know, women are 3 times more likely to get HS than men. That's what they say. But men get it on a daily basis as well. You know, HS can run in families. More than 30% of people with HS, they also have family members who have it. And the doctors have been telling you for years that it's a cyst. It is not. Because a cyst is not going to give you that much pain. It's not going to keep reoccurring. At this point in time, my wife has 7 flares across her body. 7. Both armpits, where she's had the surgery. Tailbone. When you get it in the tailbone, it's called a pilonidal cyst, is what they call it. And the last time she had that one removed, because she's had so many surgeries on the pilonidal cyst, those long Dr. Q-tips, the wooden ones with the big white tip on the end, it was so deep that the Q-tip disappeared as I was cleaning it. You know, they say the average age in adults usually age 20 to 55, but that's not true because I know of children of friends of mine who have hidradenitis. I know I'm not pronouncing it right, so y'all correct me on that. But the sad part about it is, with this debilitating disease, there's no cure. Look it up. Look it up. You know, a lot of times they used to think it was a sexually transmitted disease in the 1900s. It is not. They say obese or overweight is the cause of HS. It's not. The fact that someone's a smoker or a drinker is the cause of HS. It is not. It's because they have poor hygiene. It is not. And not much to this day is really, really known about HS, guys, which is the sad part about it because they've been studying it since the 1800s. So what does that say about our medical industry? You know, a doctor once spoke to my wife and told her, well, you don't have a sexy disease. If you had a sexy disease like cancer, we can do more for you. Well, I've never heard cancer being sexy to anyone except the pharmaceutical companies and the people who are making things like the chemotherapy and getting paid off of it. I don't think any disease is sexy. And that's just how foul the medical industry is. Now, don't get me wrong. She's had some great doctors when it comes to this. But then most of them have been terrible. I mean, really, really terrible. And I was reading an article the other day, guys, and it was saying that, you know, with copper-colored people here in America, the medical records, the doctors put in there, this patient is difficult, and that follows you. And the question in the article basically was, why are we putting these things in the medical records of copper-colored people, a.k.a. black people, to say that they're difficult? That follows you. So when you go to your next doctor, instead of them hearing you, they just see that this patient's difficult, non-compliant. That's one of the words they said in the article, that they continue to say we're non-compliant when we ask questions about their sources of treatment, instead of just taking the pills blindly or taking the treatment blindly. Well, what is this? Well, what is that? Well, I've read up on the side effects, and we've had that experience as well. We had a dermatologist, because that's who they send them to, because really they categorize it as a skin disease. Some people say it's from hair follicles. This is what some doctors say. Infected hair follicles. They really don't know. And I don't believe they care to know, because like the doctor told us, it's not a sexy disease. And in my mind, a sexy disease makes doctors and pharmaceutical companies money. It doesn't help people. But then again, you know, there's no money in any cure. There is no money in any cure. So I come to you guys today because some of you out there across the world may be suffering with HS and not knowing what it is. Look it up. Spell it right here from the podcast. I made sure I spelled it out properly for you, even though I'm mispronouncing it. But look it up, because I can tell you, the symptoms get worse over time through the medical industry and the things that they have for it. They get much, much worse over time, and there is no one there trying to help or even wanting to help. Now, they have 2 experimental centers in this country. One's in Beverly Hills and one's in Ohio. Guess what? Neither one of them take your insurance at all that specialize in this treatment. So who is this treatment for? Is it only for people who can afford it? Who is this treatment for? Is it only for people who have all this money sitting to the side, who they don't worry about paying bills or having to go through these things? I don't know. But what I can tell you is this. There is no bedside manner, There is no more bedside manner or courtesy with this. So, remember I told you in July 2021, my wife had the surgery and they removed her whole left armpit. They gave her 5 pain pills. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me tell you something. I don't know how many of you guys out here have had medical procedures and surgeries or whatever. 5 pain pills is not going to do it. And then with copper-colored people, they give us the lowest form. We all know this. They really don't care because it's still in the mental conditioning of a lot of people in the medical industry that white people can't take as much pain as we can. We're super strong. You could just cut us the fuck wide open and hey, it won't bother us because, those people. That's bullshit. So when my wife called and complained about the pain, they said to her, she said, these things make my stomach hurt. These don't work well with me. I would like this pain killer. They said, well, we can't give you any more. She said, what? You just cut my whole armpit out? Now, guys, I ain't talking about a paper cut. I'm saying from the front of her armpit all the way to the back and down, it looked like a fucking steak. Go to the meat market and get a steak. That's what her armpit looked like. So with that being said, this debilitating disease, they told her, well, with the opioid crisis, we don't want to get people addicted. Well, first of all, doctors, and I'm going to be very clear on what we know about this opioid crisis. It's not copper-colored people who's addicted to opioids because y'all don't give us any type of medications. The pharmaceutical industry got all these white folks hooked on these drugs, and then when they couldn't get them anymore, they turned to heroin because most of these opioids are nothing but heroin. So you got people who are nurses and doctors and worked in great jobs, and they gave them these 1,000,000 milligrams because they were white, because white people can't take that much pain. And now you got heroin addicts all over the country. And now in New York, we got a crack house in the middle of Harlem, so they won't kill themselves. Drugs are illegal, but they can go there as a safe haven to shoot up and this and that. And we're giving people crack pipes and needles in a kit. Oh, no, we're not giving people crack pipes. We're giving them, what do they call it? Care packages. But in the care packages, a crack pipe and needles. However, people who actually need help, you won't give it to them. My wife is stage 3 hidradenitis suppurativa. And it's a beast on the human soul. Once again, all disabilities can't be seen on the outside. Most of the people with HS look completely normal. However, they just suffer day in and day out. And then the disrespect of the medical industry is something I like to slap the shit out of a doctor some days. They constantly suffer with the lesions inside their body that form tracts in all their most vulnerable places. And then when they're really, really deep, forgive me, I got a little choked up about it and excited. When they get really, really deep, all they can do is surgically remove them. And like I said, they leave that wound open. and you have to pack the wound 3 times a day. Now, if you're with someone who has HS, this is the one thing I want to tell you. Because on Facebook, there's a HS group. And my wife is in that group, and she talks to people from all over the world. Some of you bitches are selfish. I'm talking about the mates. Tell them, oh, you stink. Well, yeah, the shit stinks when it bursts. It smells like a dead body. Why won't you give me sex? You're always complaining that you're in pain. They are. You're going to have some empathy and some compassion because it ain't always all about you. Especially not with this disease. It is not about you. And with HS, it needs to be known around the world, and something needs to be done. I don't care if it's an herbalist. I don't care if it's a God-giving doctor, because there are some good doctors out there that the Most High Creator has blessed to be good people. And some of those doctors need to step up to the plate and let's figure out what this is. I need some naturalists, some herbalists, whoever you are out there. And if you know someone with HS, tell them you love them. But the one thing that they don't want to hear anymore is, I'm sorry. How you feeling today? I'm sorry. They will punch you in your fucking face by saying, I'm sorry, simply because it always hurts. It always hurts. And I'm about to get crass on y'all. Can you imagine men, brothers who out there listening, your balls hurting all day, every day, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, and you can't get none as much as you love to get some? Because something is dripping from up under the soft parts of your ball sack. Can you imagine that? So if you have a mate who has HS, think about that before you get mad because they can't do things that you want them to do. And they can't work. Every time they start working and getting a job and start working good, you're moving around. You know, we just sweat just from walking. It'll cause a flare. And you can't get on somebody's job and start working, and a flare happens, and then you can't work, you can't move. And then people call you lazy. Well, you look fine. Well, looks can be fucking deceiving, okay? Looks can be deceiving. So I want all of y'all out there who have never heard of this, look it up. Go on YouTube, watch the videos, because at this point in time, it's sad. It is so sad what these people go through, and no one should have to go through this, and no one should ever be treated the way doctors treat copper-colored people in this country, let alone with a debilitating disease called HS. And if you're their mate, every day do something to uplift their spirits, because you know the constant pain is depression. They can't work. They feel left out. They feel like they're worthless because every time they try to do something, they're in constant pain. You know, sometimes we complain about our lives, but other people have it much worse than we do. If you can get up every day and you can walk to your front door and walk back without any pain, you doing good compared to an HS patient. If you can get up normally and just go to the bathroom and come on back, you are doing excellent by HS patients' terms. They get up. Takes them damn near 20 minutes to get to the bathroom, trying to walk. And it doesn't matter the age frame. These aren't elderly people. These are healthy-looking people in the world, the same age as you and I, and even younger. The sad part is my daughter and my son suffers from HS because their mom has HS. So the next time you complain about something, I want you to look up Hidradenitis Suppurativa. I think I almost got it right this time, HS. And think about what they go through. And think about how they have to live. And think about how they can't do things. And think about how depressing it could be to have to be in the bed 5-6 weeks every other month. Like I say, the healing process after you go through a surgery is 6 months. 6 months. Packing 3 times a day. The gauzes are expensive. The salines expensive. The gloves are expensive because you have to keep it sterile because it's always leaking and draining. So you have to keep it clean. Like I said, I've been dealing with this with my wife for the past 18 years that we have been together, and it is sad. And the way the medical industry treats people with HS, let alone copper-colored people, man, fuck y'all. I want the world to know about HS, because as these people suffer, something has to be done, and we need to be there for them, and we need to get the word out. Get the word out about HS, guys. Get the word out. Because there are more people suffering across the world with this, and I want to do my part. I want to let people know. So for all of you who are listening to me, play this podcast for someone, because you never know who has HS. You could have been talking to somebody for 25 years. Be like, dang, they always... I don't know, we good friends and I don't know what it is, but then sometimes, she get in her mood and I don't see her for a minute. She might have HS. Or, man, he always cranky and something wrong with that dude. He may have HS because the shit is painful. It is a pain like nothing you have ever seen in your life. And if you experience someone with that, do what you can and try to have some compassion, because, guys, we got to have some compassion for each other anyway. Copper-colored people, we got enough issues. But this, I wanted to bring to the world's attention and bring light to it. And if you know someone, just be there for them. Ask them. Because the thing about it is, people are so prideful. People with HS will never let you know what they're going through because it's embarrassing as well. It's always leaking. You're wondering, can someone smell it? Do they think I'm nasty? Do they think I'm dirty? And it has nothing to do with your hygiene. Okay? It has nothing to do with your hygiene. So I'm passionate about this because people need help. This is something that no one is talking about, and I'm really pissed about the fact that the motherfucking doctor told my wife, if you had a sexy disease, we might be able to help you. But I don't see y'all helping people with cancer. I don't see a cure for cancer. But cancer makes a lot of money. And I don't understand the fact why there's not more research for HS. Why are the centers who help people with HS cash only? Cash only. Because you're only going to do 2 procedures. You're either going to lance it or you're going to do invasive plastic surgery on it. That's all y'all got so far, doctors. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. Because it's not a bacteria, so you can't use antibiotics. We know this already. And all antibiotics are going to do is kill the immune system. We know this already as well. So don't come with that bullshit. If there's something besides cutting a person open or cutting them the fuck open, because it's a difference, slicing or cutting them completely the fuck open. If it's something different between those 2 procedures, let me know. Put it in the comments. All right? Put it in the comments. But people with HS, this is for you. I want you to know you are loved. And there are people out there who do understand your plight, even though they can't feel your pain. But just to watch your pain and the agony that you go through, I want you to know I speak for you in HS. Their ribbon is purple. Their cancer survivors' ribbon is pink. HS, their ribbon is purple. So guys, do your research on HS and let's push for something to happen on this behalf. Now, I'm not a doctor, but the way I've seen these doctors behave and react, shit, I can do better than that just with natural herbs. And I'm not a doctor. And you can't say on a podcast or any public platform any type of herbs to help anybody, because then they're going to try to throw your ass in jail. Why? Because it's not FDA approved, even if it helps a person. So that lets you know about the medical industry and how we need to wake up. How we need to wake up fully. Because it's a sick and sad, sorry industry today. And I just don't know what to say about it. Copper-colored people, have hope. Just know your sister goddess Candace is here for you. And I want to speak on your behalf. And I want to uplift us. And HS people, once again, you are loved. I send you healing, blessings, upliftment, courage, and encouragement from the depths and the bottom of my soul. I ask the Most High Creator and the ancestors and the spirit guides who come and protect you to heal you and ease your journey and ease your pain. I ask that your depression subsides and go away. Whenever you feel like you can't move, know that if you're being seen instead of viewed, it's a good day. And I know some of you feel like, I don't want to be here anymore because I don't want to be here dealing with this pain. But just know, I care. If no one else cares, I care. And I want you to know I love you, my people. I love you to no end. All right? Okay. All right, y'all. So that's all that I have to say today. Just wanted to give some love and some upliftment and some blessings and send some universal healing. And if you know someone, pray for them. Because prayer does work. I don't care what you believe. I'm just saying, prayer is a vibration. And when you speak positive energy and higher vibrations over a person, trust me, it does help. All right? All right, y'all. Well, that's it for me this evening. I want to tell you all, I love you. I love you. I love you once again. And I want to thank you for listening to Let's Speak It Out Loud, the podcast where we speak upon things in our community that no one wants to talk about, or the things we talk about in private amongst ourselves. All right, y'all. Peace, love, blessings, and hair grease. All right. Have a great night. Peace.